episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast. My name is Hannah and I am of course coming to you from St. Petersburg, Florida in the United States where I live to say a huge hello and welcome to any new subscribers and to anyone who is coming back, whether you've been here since the first episode or the last episode. I'm so happy that you've come to spend a little bit of crafty time with me. We have a jam-packed episode today. I have so many things to talk about, so we are going to jump right in. If you would like to follow me on the interwebs, you can just search the Cozy Cottage Crochet. I'm most active on Instagram, but I do have Facebook as well, and I'm on Ravelry as the Cozy Cottage. And we also have a Ravelry group for this podcast, which if you just search the Cozy Cottage Crochet, it will pop up in the groups tab. Before we go any further, I have a winner to announce. So last week, Quaylen from the Quo podcast so generously donated his Les Mis pattern pack, which is 2 shawl patterns. I made one, which I will talk about in a minute. But he also gifted a set to be shared with one of you guys. And the prompt for last week was, tell me down below in the comments on the last episode what your favorite book was. And like 160 people commented, which is fabulous. So I have selected a winner, and this is one of the shawl patterns. This is the 24601 triangle scarf. I will show you the other one in just a moment, but both patterns are gonna come together. The person who has won this prize is Melissa Strupp. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. Melissa, congratulations. Your comment made me laugh, so I'm just gonna read it to everyone. Melissa says, I really enjoy the Joanne Fluke Cozy Murder Mysteries. Based in a small Minnesota town, the main character owns a cookie shop, has a cat with character, dates a policeman and a dentist, and recipes are included in the book. So, and Melissa, you are from snow-covered Wisconsin. I'm very sorry. Unless you like the snow. It's like in the high 70s today in Florida. So you see that I'm wearing a scarf, but I'm also wearing shorts. So Melissa, congratulations. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. And let me just say, if any of you are looking for new books to read, go to the last episode, episode 22, and read through the comments. There are like well over 100, probably 200 book recommendations, and I'm sure you can find something that will suit your fancy. I made a list of all of the books that were recommended, minus the ones I've already read, and it's on my phone. So this week I'm planning on finding some from my local library and embarking on a new fiction reading adventure. So thank you, Quaylen, so much. I'm not done talking about your shawl patterns, but I have something else I need to insert in the middle here. So that is our winner that we announced. The second thing I need to let you guys know is that the Knitted Knockers Cal starts March 1st. I did talk about this in the last episode. All of the details have been finalized and hammered out. And so many people have contacted me, sent me messages, commented on the YouTube channel, sent me Ravelry messages saying that they were going to participate and that they've already ordered their yarn. And that just fills my heart with so much happiness. For those of you who don't know, or if you would like a refresher, Knitted Knockers is a non-profit organization that provides completely 100% free knitted and crocheted breast, they're not implants, but they're like prosthetics. So for people who have had mastectomies, either a single breast mastectomy or both, or a lumpectomy, and they are either feeling lopsided or they don't have anything to fill out a bra, the prosthetics that are typically provided are often hot and heavy, and they're very uncomfortable, especially right after the surgery because you have a giant scar and it's very sensitive. And then a lot of times insurance won't pay for them, and it's a terrible situation. So Knitted Knockers actually it's a completely 100% volunteer organization, and they make these knockers that can be put inside bras. They make them in every size. They make them in every color, although mostly women request neutral colors. And they make them out of very specific tested yarn so that they do not cause any sensitivity They're not uncomfortable to wear. They even make ones that you can wear when you're swimming. So for the first crochet along of 2018 that I will be hosting with this podcast and with you guys, we are doing a knitted knockers cal, and I will put the hashtag down below. This is the hashtag you can use on Instagram. Come over to the Ravelry group, the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast group, and there's a whole chatter thread already with all of the details you will need. This cal is going to start on March 1st, which is next week. However, if you already have your yarn, go ahead and start making them. This isn't like you have to wait until March 1st, and if you make something prior to March 1st, it's not gonna count. I just wanted to let everyone know several weeks in advance, because most of the yarn that you use you can't find in a big box store. So the Knitted Knockers organization has tested over 100 yarns, and they have about 30 yarns that are approved for knitting, and they have about 15 yarns that are approved for crochet. So if you knit, awesome, make a knitted knocker, or several. If you crochet, awesome, make a crocheted knocker. You do not have to personally give them to anyone. You don't have to stuff them. You can if you want. You don't have to have a link with a doctor's office or a local knitted knocker group. I will have all of the details in the Ravelry group as to where you can mail your completed knockers. The main organization that runs it, they accept, if you make it, you send it to them through the mail, they will stuff it, finish it off, and then ship it out to a woman who has ordered one. And basically the way women receive these is they go on the website, they fill out a shopping cart, like what size they are, what color they would like, and then within 4 weeks, Knitted Knockers, the organization, does their absolute best to get them a knocker completely free. So I know I'm flying through this. Please make sure, I'm begging you, that you get the correct yarn. There will be nothing worse than, you can't just use any old yarn out of your stash. It has to be cotton. They do accept some acrylics, but only if they are on the list, and usually the acrylic yarns are for swimming. They either need to be 100% cotton or a cotton acrylic blend, and they have very specific yarns that they've approved. So you don't want to go through all that work. Make one and ship it to them, only for them not to be able to give it to a woman who needs it, because it will cause sensitivity. It'll be hot. You can't use any wool, no alpaca, nothing like that, because you never know who's going to be receiving this item. And a lot of people have sensitivity to wool, especially on a scar area. That would be pretty uncomfortable. So I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell that I'm really, really excited about this, because so many people have said that they wanted to participate, and that they have been affected by breast cancer in their life, either personally or someone in their family or a friend. And I mean, the statistics right now are that 1 in 8 women contract breast cancer in their life. And I said this in the last episode, I can't imagine what that must be like to go through breast cancer, and then on top of that, to have a scar, to not be able to feel comfortable in your own skin, to feel like you're lopsided, to feel like nothing fits, to have a really uncomfortable heavy breast prosthetic that you have to wear, and to just not feel confident because your clothes don't fit properly, on top of everything you've had to go through, to not be able to just go out in public or even around your house and just feel like a whole person. I can't imagine what that's like. And if we can do something to spread the warmth, I say this all the time, and I mean it, that the crochet and the knitting community is like the warmest, friendliest, most helpful community I think out there. We are always sharing information, we're always doing charity projects, and I think that this is really important. A lot of people ramp up their charity efforts around the holidays at the end of the year, which is fantastic, but breast cancer doesn't only happen around the holidays. So it doesn't only happen in October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So I think this is a great opportunity. It's not that expensive, I believe, on their website, depending on what kind of yarn you get, but the average is maybe $1.50 to $2 per knocker, and that includes the stuffing. So just the yarn itself, depending on what size you make, what size knocker you make, could make more than that. So I really encourage everyone to participate. We will have some prizes, which I'll talk about at the end of this episode. Some lovely individuals have donated some prizes. If you would like to donate a prize to this cow, which of course I hope everyone participates regardless of whether there's prizes, but prizes are fun, right? So if you'd like to donate a prize, you can shoot me an email at thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. Also, that is the best way to get a hold of me. I did not say that at the beginning of this episode. Shoot me an email if you want to guarantee that I will see and respond to your message. Okay? Let me show you. I got my yarn for the knockers in the mail this week. Sorry for all the rustling. I ordered my yarn from Craftsy, and there was actually a bit of a snafu because they sent me an email and said it was shipped and a tracking number, and then it showed up on my door and it was a very heavy box, and I was like, there is no way that this belongs to me. So I opened it, and inside was no yarn. I only ordered 2 skeins. Inside was 13 yards of fabric addressed to some lady named Denise in Minneapolis, and no yarn. So I contacted them and I was like, hey, not that I'm not happy to receive fabric, but someone named Denise in Minneapolis is missing her order, and I'm afraid she might have gotten my yarn, or someone else might have gotten it. So they sent me a label. I shipped the fabric back to them, so they're gonna make sure that Denise, whoever you are, you get your fabric. And then they resent me out the yarn, I believe second day mail. Like I got it like 2 days later. So I ordered 2 skeins. This is one of the approved yarns for crochet. Please make sure if you're ordering yarn for crochet purposes that it's approved for crochet, because crochet has a different fabric than knitting. So not all of the yarns you can use for knitting, you can use for crochet knockers. I have ordered, this is Cloudborn yarn, 100% Pima cotton. This is the color 30010. It's just like a nude color. It's 100 grams, I believe. Yes, 231 yards, 100 grams. It's a DK weight yarn. I got 2 of them. I'm hoping to get 4 knockers out of this, but I'm not sure. If I can't get 4, then I will order some more. These 2 together, I think, cost me maybe 15 bucks. So I think that's a great deal, because this is really nice yarn. It's a little darker than I thought it would be, which is fine, because not everyone is as pale as I am. But I wanted to order a neutral color, because that is the most requested knocker, because you don't necessarily want like a hot pink knocker or a blue knocker if you're wearing like a t-shirt, because it'll show through potentially. So most women request neutral colors. So they had like a really pale white, they had this one, and then they had like a mocha color. So I went for the middle one, and on the website it did look a little lighter than this, like that. But even I'm pretty white, and I feel like that would blend in a shirt, underneath a shirt. So I'm gonna make, it doesn't matter. Everyone has different color skin tone, right? So as long as there is a skin tone for the yarn you pick, it's perfect. And some people do request the multicolored ones, so just not the majority of people. So that's my yarn. I am excited to get started. I will be starting on that most likely on March 1st. I probably will wait until the actual cow starts, since it's my cow. But I'm just really excited, and I hope you'll participate. If you are going to participate and you have not already let me know that you are going to do so, leave me a comment down below and let me know. I'd love to celebrate that with you. If you have any questions, you can shoot me an email, of course, or you can go into the Ravelry group, because there is already a chatter thread, and there's some very active people in there. I have read all of them, I promise. It's been kind of a crazy week, so I have not, I think I responded to like 2 questions, but I will try to do better. I'll try to do better, okay? Okay, now, are you ready to talk about finished objects? Because I have not 1, not 2, but 3 finished objects. And one of them you may have already noticed that I am wearing. So let me talk about it. This pattern was so generously gifted to me by Quaylen of the Quo podcast on YouTube. He is a college student. He is a crochet pattern designer. I love this pattern. And also, he is working on another set of shawl patterns, which he just showed off in his last podcast episode. The most recently completed one. And I was like, I need to make that. So whenever it gets released, I can guarantee you I will be making that pattern too. So these are the ones that go together. So this is the set. This is in bulky weight yarn. So it's 2 triangles. This one, the One Day More shawlette, that's Quaylen, by the way, is made using fingering weight yarn and 4 triangles. This is a granny stitch. So this is my entry into the Granny Along, which is hosted by Rosina of the Zines and Roger podcast. Hi, Rosina. And I honestly didn't think I was gonna have time to enter that cow because of everything that's going on. However, when I saw this pattern, I was instantly like, oh, yes. I have to make this and I have the perfect yarn. I talked about the yarn on the last episode, so let me give you just a quick refresher. The multicolored yarn, like a dark rainbow color, is Expression Fiber Arts in the colorway Tropical Fish, which you get 400 yards for 100 grams. Now this is kind of a really springy, it's almost like a stretchy yarn. It's like very high twist. It's really unlike any yarn I've worked with because it almost has like a little bit of a cotton feel to it because of how squishy it is. It doesn't feel like, this is the other yarn I use. This is Malabrigo sock in the colorway Wales Road. Sorry, that's blowing out. 247 Wales Road, you get 440 yards for 100 grams. So the Malabrigo is a thinner fingering weight yarn, but the Malabrigo doesn't have very much stretch to it. This one, that really stretches. I was potentially thinking last week that I might have enough left to make another one. I do not. Maybe if I took off the last repeat on every triangle, I might have enough. I have about 35 grams of the Malabrigo left because you have to do a border, and that's the color I chose. And I have about 47 grams of this Tropical Fish colorway. So I don't think I have enough to make an entire another shawl, but that's okay. I'll keep that yarn for something else. Let me show you. This, one of the things I really like about this is its unique construction. So this is the shape of the shawl. Let me scoot back. So as you can see, it's made in pieces and then crocheted together. So you make 4 individual pieces, then you assemble, and then you do a border. I am so happy with this. I have worn this 3 times since it got finished. And Quaylen, I'm so sorry, I still haven't sent you pictures. I haven't taken any pictures yet, but hopefully you can direct people to this podcast until later this week when I can get you some appropriate pictures. I blocked it and it grew quite a bit, although I did block it a little bit aggressively so I soaked it. Normally I only soak a shawl for maybe 15 minutes or something like that. I got distracted while I was soaking this, and it ended up being in there for like a half an hour, which is fine. It just takes longer to dry. So I pinned it out and it grew quite a bit, and I love this color. Now, I would be perfectly happy to have a whole shawl out of rainbow, but the rainbow with the blue, I cannot get enough of it. The only modification I made to the pattern is that he has the triangles kind of like this blue one right here would be down here. This would be flipped. But I really like symmetry. And I knew that I would like it better if I put the triangles like this. So the rainbow meets in the middle. So I did. That's what I did. That's the only modification I made. Otherwise, I followed the pattern exactly. And it fits perfectly. It's wonderful. It's light. It's soft. It does go down quite a ways. So let me stand up. This goes down like my belly button's right here. goes down to my belly button. But because of the unique shape of the shawl, it actually stays on better than most shawls that I have made, because it is kind of made to go around your neck. And this is how I always wear my shawls, but I imagine if you are the over-the-shoulder kind of a shawl wearer, it would also work just like this. So I am thrilled with this pattern. If you love this, you need to make it. You need to just go to the Quo Shop, go find his pattern on Ravelry and buy it. Melissa, you can make this and the one in bulky weight with no problems because you have it for free. And if you please get in contact with me, Melissa, I forgot to say this. Man, I am all over the place today. I apologize. I'm gonna take some deep breaths and calm down. Please email me, Melissa, so that I have your information, and I need your Ravelry name so that I can then give it to Quaylen so that he can get the patterns to you. Okay, that is finished object number 1. Don't worry, there's more. The second finished object is a pattern test that I was doing for Lacey of the Hooked on Owls podcast. You have heard me talk about her before. Okay, so I totally left the pattern at work because I always have yarn with me to like work on lunch breaks and things like that. I printed out the pattern and I left it at work. So I do not have it to show you, but that's okay because I have a finished object. Now, she made the most adorable little fox pattern. It's a little amigurumi. I normally do not test patterns because Crochet Deadlines and I do not get along so well, and that kind of takes some of the fun out of it for me. But this was such a cute pattern, and it was small, and also I love Lacey. So I went ahead and made it. Now, before you, if you've seen me, if you follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen what this looks like. I did not have any fox colored yarn, which is like, you know, a rusty brown color. So I made it out of green and black yarn. And my idea was that he was gonna look like a Pokemon, and he does. So this is the fox. I'm sorry he's green, Lacey. But I promise if you make him in rust colored yarn, he will look like a fox. He's got these super cute ears. You could totally use a safety nose instead of sewing it on like I did. I just didn't have a safety nose to use. Her pattern calls for, I believe, a 3.5 millimeter hook. I generally do amigurumi in a 4.5, so that's what I did for most of him. There's this little tail, his legs. Now, some of you will notice he's kind of fat. It's because I was working on a different project. I had finished the head and the ears, and then I started to work on the body, but I had taken a break after I finished the head, and I was working on something else with a 5.5 millimeter hook, which is too big for amigurumi, really, because it doesn't create such a dense fabric. I did not notice that I was using the wrong size hook until I had completed the body and sewn it shut and stuffed it and weaved in my ends. So what we have here is a little fox pot belly. His arms look a little stubby because his body is much too big. Now, I think it's kind of cute. I mean, look. He has a little fox pot belly. And I just sewed his legs on like slightly more forward than they would have been normally so that he can still sit up because the tail gives him balance. So it's a really cute pattern. I'm not sure when it will be released, but I'm sure very soon. I know there's a couple other people who are testing it who have finished up with their test, and he's just really cute. He's gonna live at work in my office. So I brought him home, but I didn't bring home the pattern to show you. But it's just Fox by Lacey. Go to the Hooked on Owls podcast and you will be able to find her pattern. And then as soon as it's released, I'm sure that I will be posting about it so that you can have an actual link to find it as well. It'll be released very soon. This is just red heart and some fiber fill. Red heart in green, probably in black. I would say he maybe takes about 1/3 of a ball in red heart, although maybe it will take you less if you use the right hook size on his whole body, which I did not. So thank you, Lacey, for letting me test your super cute pattern. I'm very, very happy to do that for you. There's one more finished object. Now, I cannot show you the actual physical finished object because it has already gone to its owner. But you will remember, yes, last episode, I said I was going to be making this crochet unicorn hat, which is a pattern by Bree Abbey Handmade. This pattern is $7. I got it on Etsy. I think it's worth $7 because at no point did I have any questions. And this pattern has a lot of pieces. And also you can make it from a newborn all the way up into a large adult size. So I think it's worth $7. I generally don't, like, that's kind of expensive for one pattern, but this is 11 pages and it's totally worth it. I finished one hat, the smaller version. So I made it like a 4 to 6 year old version, and the owner of that hat has already received it and refuses to take it off, mostly. It's adorable. Her dad sent me a picture of her wearing it, which I'm not going to share because that's not my child, obviously. But oh my God, so cute. I do have a picture of the hat that I will put up here to show you while we talk about it, because I'm making another one, and all of this yarn is living in the bag, my Christmas bag that Ella gifted to me from the No Catchy Name Crochet Talk on YouTube. Check it out. I have all the pieces done for the second one except the horn. This is the 7 to 10 year old version I showed last week. So I have the hat done. I have the bottom layer of hair. The second layer of hair. The bangs. I have 2 ears. And then I have 2 eyes. I think they're supposed to be like this. Yes. No. I think they're supposed to be like this. I had a heck of a time. The first hat took me like an hour to sew together. Worth it because of how cute it is. So I still have to make the horn, and then I will begin assembly because I want to put the horn on first so that I can make sure it's centered, and then I'll put the eyes on and the ears on and then attach the hair. So it's gonna be really cute, as you can tell from the already completed picture. The only thing I will say is the whole pattern is very simple. It does have one annoying part. These eyes are super annoying to make because you have to use 4 different colors of yarn. There's tons of ends to weave in, and you use a really tiny hook to make them. It's just, it's not super pleasant to make these eyes. So be warned, if you are going to make this hat, that the eyes are a pain, but then that hat will be gone by the time I podcast next. I'm hoping to actually get that out in the mail on like Monday or Tuesday this week. I'm gonna make the horn either today or tomorrow and then do all the assembly. So I'll have a picture of that one to show you as well in the next podcast. They're just, oh, it's so cute. Like, could it be any cuter than a little girl wearing a unicorn hat? I don't think so. That's my FO. And my whip. That's whip number 1, actually, because I finished one hat and I'm still working on the other. I do still have another whip. I have not worked on my cardigan. I have been so busy I just have been all over the place. I know I said my crafty word of the year is cardigan. Have I made any cardigans yet? It's the end of February. I'm like a quarter of the way through one. But that's okay. I'm planning on rectifying this. I was on Ravelry yesterday when I had like 20 minutes to kill before an appointment, and I was just looking at all the cardigan patterns and like, oh, man, I already know the next one that I want to start. So, you know, we'll see. Hopefully I'll have some more cardigan progress to show you, but I haven't touched the one I was working on last time in 2 weeks. Because I have a commission on the go for another poncho, not the Simone Francis poncho, because this poncho is going to be for a person who lives in Florida, very close to me, and it's warm already. So the Simone Francis poncho, the cowl neck poncho that I made 2 of and shipped off to Virginia, they are wonderful and I loved making them, but they would be a little warm for the summertime in Florida. So I am making a thinner poncho with a different pattern. Is living in a Star Wars bag that I made myself. Some of you had asked to see the drawstring bag that I was talking about, and I couldn't show it to you last week because I'd only made one and that was a gift. But this one I can show you. This one's a little bit bigger than the one I normally would make, but this used 2 fat quarters. One for the outside, one for the inside. It's got this red lining and it has a drawstring on top. Now, the seaming is okay. It's a little wobbly on this one. And actually, this one I made like a week ago, and I've since made 2 more bags, and the seaming was worse somehow on those, so I'm gonna unpick them and do it again. This bag is really too small for what I've stuffed in it, but it was the only one I had free at the moment. So what I am doing is very loosely following this pattern, which is the Fall Crochet Poncho by Brittany from Bee Hooked Crochet. This is a free pattern on her website. However, this pattern uses worsted weight yarn. I did not want to use worsted weight yarn because obviously this is a Florida project. So not only did I not want to use worsted weight yarn, the person I am making it for does not want the turtleneck. That would make her too hot. So I scrapped the turtleneck, and then the actual poncho pattern. So if you remember my Simone Francis cowl necked poncho, it has a point in the front and a point in the back, and then it goes up on the sides. This particular pattern by Brittany from Bee Hooked has 4 points. And I knew that the person I was making it for didn't want that either. So I'm following the pattern structure. I'm using the pattern stitches, but I'm not making the version that has the neck. I'm using a different weight of yarn, and I took out the 2 points on the side, so it just has one in the front, one in the back, and goes up over your arm. The yarn I am using is Loops and Threads Wool-like in navy and charcoal. Very original color names. I am holding this double. That makes a DK weight yarn, and I don't know what hook size she calls in the pattern, like a normal hook size for worsted weight yarn. I am using a 6.5 millimeter hook for this DK yarn because I want it to be loose and lacy and to have some nice drape to it. I still did not quite get gauge even with that big of a hook because the yarn is smaller, but that's okay. The person I am making this for, I know it's gonna fit them because she's smaller than I am. So I think this is gonna be great. I have used this yarn in the past for projects, and I know that I've raved about it. I really like this yarn. This is the only fingering weight, affordable, soft, 100% acrylic yarn that I know of. I don't know of any other ones. This yarn is usually $3 a ball at Michael's. If you have coupons, sometimes it's $4 if it's not on sale. If you have coupons, you can get it for cheaper than that. You get in 100 grams, actually it's not 100% acrylic, it's 85% acrylic, 15% nylon. And you get 678 yards in one of these. And it is so soft, so soft. And you can put it in the washer and dryer because it's acrylic. So what I'm doing, I'm gonna have to be careful because I have all these threads coming out of this bag. Even though this bag is too small, it is keeping my yarn organized because I'm pulling from the center. So it's got lots of strings attached. I am actually nearing completion with this. This is what I have made. And I am really happy with this. So in the pattern, Brittany has 3 of these open sections followed by this. So I have finished 2 of the lace panels and I've started on the 3rd. So I have 3 more gray rows and then 4 more blue rows, like this color block, to finish before this shawl will be done. And let me just show you what it looks like because, oh, there are threads everywhere. Let's see if I can possibly do this without tangling everything up. Okay, This yarn held double. It has a little bit of weight to it, and it is so soft, and it has such a lovely drape. So you can see right here, we've got plenty of room around the neck. I chained the same number of stitches that Brittany calls for in the original pattern. I believe it's 68. Let me stand up. This is how long it is right now. So if we add another this much, that'll be the perfect length. It'll be right below the elbow. As you can see, I am already a little bit warmer wearing this, but because of these giant lace panels, and I don't feel like I'm giving anything away. This is double crochet in the solid and triple or treble crochets in the lace panel. So I know I keep saying I don't think I'm a poncho person, but I really like this. Like, and probably part of it's the yarn, but it's just so soft and drapey and clingy, and I think it's gonna be fabulous. Oh, there's threads. I feel like I'm gonna tangle this whole thing up, and then it's gonna take me like 20 minutes to untangle it. So let me give you a close up. Those are the trebles. I am going to lightly steam block this when I wash it. This will most likely be gone by the next podcast as well. I'm hoping to get that done in a few days so that I can give it to its new owner, who will be hopefully wearing it before the winter comes again. I did want to say, oh, I know what I wanted to say. This yarn. So I know that last episode I mentioned this sweater pattern, which is the Blurred Lines sweater by Deanne from Addie Day Designs, which you need to buy if you haven't. And I was saying I don't know what yarn I'm going to use because it's going to use about 600 grams, and that's a fair yarn commitment. And while I would love to make that out of hand-dyed yarn, I don't think that's feasible right now. Like, I don't have enough yarn that would go together I don't have 600 grams of fingering eight yarn that would go together, and that would be expensive to buy. So I think I'm actually going to make it out of loops and threads wool-like. I can always remake it in a hand-dyed yarn in the future if that becomes a possibility. But for 600 grams of this would probably be $20, right? Yeah, $20 for 600 grams of this. And I know that it will be warmer than a wool sweater because it's acrylic, but I'll be able to wash it. And I honestly, if you are looking for a cheap, nice fingering weight yarn, this is the only one I know of, is loops and threads wool-like. So go to Michael's. I wish it was at Joann's so I could use more coupons than one, but go to Michael's, buy yourself some wool-like. I think that's what I'm gonna make that sweater out of. I don't know when I'm gonna start because I am so behind on my current cardigan, but I feel like I'm going to start it pretty soon. So that is all the yarn. I have been sewing this right here. I wanted to show you. I was actually trying to make this bag as a prize for the Knitted Knockers cow, but I have messed up. Well, first of all, it's adorable. This is flannel fabric that I got on sale at Joann's. They're like little llamas, but I have one more cut out. It's like a little sock size bag. So you could fit a sock or maybe a 2-cake project probably in here. And on the inside, it's this pink plaid. So it's completely reversible. You can't see any of the seams except for where you pull it inside out right here. And I messed up like this seam. I don't know what happened. It's all sideways. And then the drawstring casing popped out. So then I had to go back over it and sew it again. And it does that on the other side too. And it just looks bad. So that I don't know that I would feel right giving this away as a prize because it's not the most well-made construction, but it is really cute. And I do have fabric enough to make one more in this size with the llamas, so hopefully I can do that one better. And then that will be a prize for the cow. Excuse me. I do have some happy yarn mail to show you, some prizes for the Cal, and some things that I've purchased, which I'm so excited to share with you. First, I want to show you a gift that arrived in my mailbox completely out of the blue. I had no idea it was coming. And Claudia sent it to me from the Crochet Luna podcast. She's out in California. She sent me one of her, Crochet Luna enamel pins, which will be on a bag. I just wanted to show it to you first. And she sells these in her Etsy shop. Is that upside down? I can't tell. This way. She also has the other enamel pin that I showed you a while back that is literally like a diagram of a granny square, and it says Crochet Loving Sisters. So great. So you can, if you search Crochet Luna on Etsy, you can find these pins and you can own one. I know enamel pins are all the rage. And she sent me these cute stitch markers as well. She made this one, the moon, which is super cute. And then she sent me a pair of leggings, which have cupids on them. I have already worn these. I will be wearing them again. I don't care that it's not Valentine's Day anymore. They're super soft, and I love leggings. As long as, in Claudia's words, there is enough of a t-shirt or whatever you're wearing on top to cover the caboose, it will be perfect. I am a complete fan of leggings. They are comfortable. I would live in them if I could. I need more leggings in my life because a lot of the ones that I have had in the past have just like worn out because I've worn them so much. So I will definitely be wearing these probably again this week. Thank you, Claudia. That was so nice of you. The second thing, actually, I have some purchases to show you. One I just thought was really interesting. I was at knit night at my local knit store, which is called Stash, a place for yarn in St. Petersburg, and they had a knit for peace promotion, which is yarn where the proceeds of that yarn, whatever was on that stand, is going to benefit the nonprofit organization Knit for Peace, which like runs classes and all kinds of stuff. And I thought that was a really cool idea. And this yarn was on there. Now this is a Manos del Uruguay, 100% merino wool. It's kettle dyed. You get 219 yards for 100 grams. And the colorway, it just says M6220. But what is really cool about the Manos del Uruguay yarn is it tells you who made your yarn. And this yarn, their whole aim of the organization is to bring economic and social opportunities to rural women. So first of all, it's fantastic. Second of all, look at these colors. You know, it looks like it's blowing out a little bit, but it's not. Like, it's that bright and vibrant. It's got red, orange. It's super soft and plush. I don't know what I'm gonna do with only 200 yards of this. But I really did want to support that organization. Not only the people who made this yarn, but my local knit store and their nonprofit. So I was excited to buy this. The other thing I purchased is, I'm so excited to announce this. If you have any yarn money, you need to run to Etsy and search Moon Tower Dye Works. I'm gonna put it down below, Moon Tower Dye Works. I have been waiting for her to open her shop for months. This is the yarn. I saw it on Instagram and I immediately stalked her entire Instagram trying to find out where I could buy her yarn. And she wasn't selling it at that time because it was so beautiful. And she has opened a shop called Moon Tower Dye Works. It just opened like a week or two ago. And of course I ordered 2 skeins immediately. It's probably a good thing I'm not made of money. Like I had money, like $60 from a commission that I had done before Christmas that I have been saving specifically for the day that her shop opened so that I would be able to buy something. Also, she sent it to me in this cool star package. And she wrote me a really lovely hand-dyed note. hand-dyed, handwritten note. Oh, you guys, this, Anna is my favorite indie dyer. I am not just saying that. I am not being compensated for saying that. I am obsessed with this yarn. I can guarantee you I will be buying more of it as soon as I get more money. And I could not be more thrilled to have 2 skeins of her yarn. This is one of them. So the label says Moon Tower Dye Works, living and dyeing in Texas. She's from Austin. This is the Samson sock base, which is a 75-25 merino nylon blend. You get 463 yards for 100 grams. And this is the colorway Cats of Saturn. And it took me like 20 minutes to decide on which colorways to buy because there were so many gorgeous ones. This is the first one. Oh my word, it's so beautiful. And the second colorway I bought is called Desperados Tagging a Train, which is like a graffiti. Oh, look at this. And I thought that they would go well together. I don't have a project in mind for these yet. I honestly would like to design something with these 2 skeins because I feel like they do go together well enough to do that. And I cannot bring myself to unwind these and cake them. Like every time I look at them, Anna, I know that I seem a little crazy because I like every single one of your yarn posts on Instagram. I have never seen yarn like this. Never. It is amazing. And it was reasonably priced, the same price as most indie dyers price their skeins. It was like $30. And I cannot get enough of it. I just keep taking it out of the package and looking at it. And then going, oh, it's so pretty. And then I put it back in the package so that no dust will get on it. And then I'm like, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I don't have an idea, but I think I would like to design something with this. And as I said before, I guarantee you I will be buying more of her yarn. She is my favorite. So search Moon Tower Dye Works on Instagram and on Etsy if you too need this fabulous yarn in your life like I did. All right, I was a little gushy. I'm not gonna apologize because I meant every word of it. I have 2 more things to show you because some prizes have been donated for the Knitted Knockers cow. First of all, I don't have it to show you because it has not been made, but a lovely viewer named Lynn sent me a message, and she has been affected by breast cancer in her life personally, and she wanted to donate a crochet hook, a handmade polymer shed, I think it's polymer shed crochet hooks. I did not write that down, but it's a handmade like polymer clay crochet hook. So what will happen is once the cow closes and I pick a winner for that prize, you will tell me what size hook you would like, and you can go to their website and then she will purchase that hook and send it to you. So it'll be a hook. It won't just be like, this is the one hook you get. You actually get to select your hook, which I think is fabulous. The second thing is Andrea. Hi, Andrea. From North Carolina, contacted me and wanted to donate some yarn for a prize. And she sent me 3 balls of Knit Picks Felici worsted. I did not even know, and maybe I've been living under a rock or something. I didn't even know Felici came in worsted. This is a 75-25 merino nylon blend. You get 218 yards for 100 grams. So you have about 660 yards between these 3 balls. This one is the colorway Madrigal. And then these 2 are the colorway Wizard. Now, as you know, if you know Knit Picks Felici, this is self-striping yarn. So you think of the things you could make with this. This is really excited. This is really exciting. Can't talk today. So somebody's gonna win this as well. That's a wonderful, lovely prize. Thank you so much, Andrea. But that's not all she sent me, actually. She sent me I was kind of blown away, actually. she had a Stylecraft Batik color pack. This is 500 yards. And she bought it, I believe, to make a blanket or some kind of project that they had. And she didn't love the color. So she sent it to me to make a cardigan with, or a sweater. Now I have not picked a pattern for this yet because it will need, I would like it to be a cardigan, and I'll need to be able to fade it somehow because there's 4 of this color and then there's like 1 of every other color. So I'll need to be able to fade it appropriately to where it can, you know, decide if I want the sleeves to match. But that was really, really generous of you, Andrea, and I don't really know how to say thank you appropriately for this. This is a sweater's quantity of yarn. It's 500 grams. So it's beautiful. I've never had Stylecraft yarn other than that one ball of sock yarn that Charlie sent me. Hi, Charlie. And I haven't used that yet because I still haven't finished the one sock I was working on. I actually tried to pick it up the other day and then I felt guilty because I should have been working on my commissions. Maybe we'll have some progress on that next week. By the end of the year, I'll have a finished sock. Who knows? So I'm gonna look for a pattern for this, but that was really special. And then finally, Brooke, who is from California. I'm sorry, I'm looking at your shipping label, Brooke. She's a lovely viewer as well, and she contacted me and wanted to donate some prizes for the cow. And I just want to say that of the people who have contacted me to donate prizes, these are individuals. They're not running businesses. They're not asking for anything back from this. They just believe that knitted and crocheted knockers really can make a difference in someone's life and wanted to contribute. And I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that. And I'm gonna stop because I'm gonna get emotional. So Brooke sent, I was shocked when I opened this package. So she sent all of these stitch markers to be split up, and they're so cute. There's like a little sewing machine, or no, it's like a little mixer. There's a cupcake tin. There's a cookbook. There's like a squirrel. There's all kinds of little stitch markers. And then she sent all of these bags. They're sock bags, and let me tell you, they are infinitely more well put together than this one that I tried to make this week. Her top stitching is so beautiful. So I'll just show them to you one by one. There's a flamingo bag. There is a campfire bag, so if you like camping, happy camper. There is like a beautiful autumnal bag. And of course these all are lined. So this one they're all lined with the color of the drawstring casing. There is this one, which is super pretty, especially that lining. Now these, just like the one I was trying to make, these are reversible too. So if you wanted to, you could have this on the outside, or you could have this on the outside. It's completely up to you. And then, these are my favorites. There's a Betty Boop bag with polka dots on the inside. How appropriate. And she said that I could keep one of the bags. I laughed out loud when I saw this, and I think this has got to be the one. I don't know if you can tell what this is from far away, so let me zoom it in. That is Where's Waldo fabric, and it's blue on the inside. So that is pretty much the coolest thing in the world. I don't know. It made me start laughing. So I think the Where's Waldo bag is going to stay with me, but I will not be greedy. I will split those up into prizes. Thank you so much, Brooke. That I'm just overwhelmed by everyone who's contacted me. Brooke and Andrea and Lynn, you guys fill my heart with so much joy. It's such a privilege that we have to give back to other people and spread the warmth and spread the love. And we know how much love and energy and positivity we put into our craft. And just to be able to share that with someone else who is struggling, who has been dealing with breast cancer, and doesn't even feel comfortable in their own skin, just to give them something that we have made with our hands and our hearts is so special. And I am just appreciative. There won't be another podcast episode before the Cal starts on March 1st, because that is next week. So if you have any questions, please shoot me an email, thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com, and then we will start that next week, and then I'll give you an update on the next podcast episode. Speaking of the next podcast episode, just so everyone knows, I don't know if it will be 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I will do my best to record something and get it out in a week and a half, but not this upcoming week, but the week after, when I would normally record a podcast. I'm actually going to be at a conference from Wednesday through Sunday. I won't be getting back home. I'll be leaving early Wednesday morning, and I won't be getting back home till Sunday night. So I don't know when I'm going to record a podcast. And I might be able to take all my stuff with me and record while I'm there, but I'm not checking a bag, so I don't know how that's gonna work. But I'll try to record something. It may end up being a few days late, or I may just wait until that next Saturday when I can sit down and actually record a full episode and give you guys all the attention that you deserve. Oh, one other thing. I can't believe I almost forgot to talk about this. My pattern, I've gotten more than a couple messages and comments from people who are excited that I will be releasing my first pattern. I don't even know how to say this, because I'm going to get really emotional. It's something I've been wanting to do for a while, and I'm really excited to finally have created a pattern. It is almost ready. My testers most of them are done with the pattern. Oh my word, y'all, get your patterns tested. I have read that pattern like a billion times, and there's one line in that pattern that it was missing a stitch, and I must have read it after Lacey. She's my tester. She sent it to me and was like, this has got to be wrong, because there's no way that it just doesn't equal the stitch count. And I kept reading it and going, no, it's right. No, it was not right. I was totally missing a stitch. And that would be really frustrating to someone who got that pattern and then could not figure out what they were doing wrong. So y'all, get your patterns tested if you're a pattern designer, because I've read that so many times and never noticed it. But other than that, there wasn't too many things that needed to be updated and changed. I need to add some stitch counts. I need to take pictures, and then it will be off for tech editing, which should take 5 or 6 days. So I'm hoping by the time that I have the next podcast episode up, that pattern will be ready to go. It will be the Treasure Island shawl, and then you guys can make it once it's tech edited. So I think that's all I have for you. I feel like I have been talking a bazillion miles an hour. I haven't even done a life update. But I don't really think we even have time to do that. But I will say very quickly, my diet is over, officially over. I had my weigh out. For those of you who wanted to know, I lost 10 pounds and 4% body fat, which, I wish it was more. But I'm very happy with that. I am actually wearing a pair of shorts right now that didn't fit me a couple of months ago. So that is fabulous. And I have been going crazy this week. I've been going ham on some chips and some popcorn and some Girl Scout cookies. But I will be getting back on the wagon because I would like these shorts to continue to fit. So probably on Monday, I will stop eating everything. And I really haven't been eating everything. I've been eating like a normal breakfast and lunch, but maybe like some snacks and some dinners were not approved. So there's that. I'm really excited about that. And I think I'm just gonna end it here, okay? Because if you've stuck around this long, God bless you. I've been a little crazy and all over the place today. I am going to pack all of this stuff up. You should see my table. It looks like a tornado went through the kitchen because of all the yarn and crafts I have piled everywhere. I'm gonna edit this, try to get it uploaded, and then for the rest of the day, I'm gonna hang out with my husband. which is gonna be fabulous because I really like him. So if you liked this episode, do give me a thumbs up. If you would like to be kept up to date on new episodes as they come available, do hit the subscribe button down below. Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you're working on. Thank you so much to everyone who participated last episode and left me a comment of your favorite book. I have so many things to read now and I'm so excited. Come find me on Instagram if you want to know what I'm doing in between podcast episodes, because that's pretty much the only place I hang out. So until 2 or possibly 3 weeks, as soon as I can come back, I will. Happy crafting. Have so much fun with your yarn and join the Cal, spread the warmth, and I will see you soon. Bye.